Are wireless signals dangerous? What science actually says. Hi everybody, it's me again. Thank you for coming back. I super immensely appreciate it. Today I'm going to do a little bit more reading, just so you know. And like I said before, I'm a new growing YouTube channel, and I'd super immensely appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, give me a comment, let me know, like me, hate me, whatever, like my subject, want to learn more, let me know. Email me, call me, I've got it all in there in the description. Love to hear from you. But today I really want to speak about something that I feel is pretty important. And here we go. Some people, seriously though, believe wireless technology is probably the worst threat to our whole entire generation. Others, however, will find it super harmless. Okay. But I'm sorry, they usually never kind of exist in the same area. It's usually that gray area. I mean, 5G towers, microwaves, graphene. I know a lot of people are still going to say, oh, this is science fiction and all of that kind of good stuff. But no, sorry, it's real science, and it exists in definite science conversations. And it existed long before we ever even heard about it. Hence why it became part of our lives. A lot of us, though, I think, believe that we don't understand the effects or what it's actually going to do to our human brains because we don't know. So today, we're going to kind of walk a careful line. I don't want to sound conspiratorial, and I'm not going to throw that kind of stuff out there either. But I'm not going to give it blind trust either. Just curiosity, critical thinking, and science. You see, every generation has that moment, has those things that come out, like think about electricity, radio waves, Wi-Fi, all that kind of good stuff. And each time it always sparked panic before understanding caught up. And 5G is the latest example. Or 6G, coming right up. When a technology is invisible, super complex, powerful, poorly explained, imagination, whew, right? And usually I'd say that the human imagination moves so much further and faster than any kind of peer-reviewed research could ever keep up with. The term neurological warfare sounds extreme, but it draws from a real scientific field of bioelectromagnetics. That doesn't mean harm, though. Let's not just go there extremely yet. It means study. But once scientific language leaves the lab, usually, and enters social media or mainstream media, it often sounds super distorted, I'd have to say. But here we go with the microwave radio frequencies. But I think that most people know about that by now, but we'll see. So the microwave radio frequencies are part of all the electromagnetic spectrum, correct? Just like the visible light and radio waves, the key difference is energy level, basically. That's kind of what the key difference is with, all this stuff. And ionizing radiation, such as X-rays, can damage your DNA. We know that's proven. I mean, we hear that all the time, just even oh, if you go to the doctor, you have too many x-rays or this or that, or even like people walking through like TSA and things like that. I know that they get pretty upset about that. I understand if you're doing it all the time, yeah, it's probably a bad idea. So keep that in mind. But non-ionizing radiation, okay, that includes Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 5G. They say, anyways, because like I said, I'm not gonna say it for sure. But at this point in time, science is telling us that it does not carry enough energy to break chemical bonds. And this distinction does matter. It does. Okay? Because non-ionizing does not mean does nothing. No. It means effects. If any occur, it's different pathways, basically. That makes sense. That's where this research continues. 5G uses a range of frequencies, including higher bands called millimeter waves. These signals don't travel as far, which means more antennas are needed, specifically in cities. That visibility means, psychologically, what? Well, when people see it constantly, myself included, and everyone I know, I've heard them talk about it and known people that have worked on them and put them up over the years. They even questioned it. There's a lot that can affect you psychologically when this happens. But scientifically, millimeter waves primarily interact with the surface of the body. You know, skin, all that good stuff. Exposure limits are designed to prevent tissue heating, which is the main known biological effect. But here comes the brain question. This is what I think a lot of people want to know, and myself is included. I don't know that we actually have the conclusion though, but let's carry on. The nervous system uses electrical signals, we know that. So the idea of interference feels intuitive, but context matters. In laboratory settings, however, extremely strong electromagnetic fields can affect neural activity. Medical treatments like transcranial magnetic stimulation use controlled, targeted energy. Ambient wireless signals operate at passivity and lower intensities usually. But biology isn't a switch. It's a mixing board with hundreds of sliders. Let's talk about graphene and nanomaterials. Graphene is a remarkable material. There's no doubt about that. But most applications are still experimental. Integrating nanomaterials into living systems is complex and hopefully tightly regulated. The idea that graphene is secretly embedded everywhere, or maybe even controlling biology at this point through the air, is not supported by current manufacturing or biology or biological realities. That's kind of the thing that I see. Because believe me, I'm kind of one of those that are quick to be like, oh, you did not go there. And I'm not saying that they didn't go there, but moving on. We're trying to, like, go with what we can actually find at this point. Why neurological warfare feels very believable. Governments have researched non-lethal technologies. That part is very real and past. But the leap from research to civilian wireless networks as weapons is unsupported by evidence, at least at this point. Which I think we can all think that's a good thing, if that's the case. The idea sticks because it taps into loss of autonomy, which I don't think that many of us want, as we're mostly, we think we're independent humans anyways, and yeah. Invisible exposure, it's like, and it's very institutional. Like, I already feel like we feel institutional enough. Let me know if you do too. It just builds huge distrust, like many other things. Science really, though, however, offers certainty. That's been my, recollection so far, yeah, anyways. But it offers probabilities, so I do have to say that about it. Most certainly. So what science says today, that's all we can go on at the moment, as far as anything that we can actually say we can quote unquote prove. So major health organization, or there's a little fly, did you see that? Right by me. It's bothering me. Anyways, I can't get him, so. Anyways, major health organizations continue to review this data, thankfully, I think. Current safety standards focus on preventing known biological effects. Some studies explore subtle impacts, but results are mixed, that's for sure, and hard to replicate. Like in the real world exposure type thing, that's kind of, bah. I know. That's really scientific, I know. Bah. Go figure. But this doesn't mean that, investigation stops. No. It means panic isn't completely justified by evidence. That's all. So, as I see it, and as I wrote it down, the real takeaways that I'm going to give you at the moment, the real story isn't the secret mind control, which might be happening. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. It's how humans respond to invisible, powerful technology. I mean, I get it. Believe me, because since I heard of it years ago, I said, oh, here we go. So I get it. But curiosity isn't healthy, necessarily. Critical thinking is powerful, however. Fear sells, certainly, for sure. There's like, oh, you're fear PORNing or fear mongering, things like that you've heard, like, over the years. I'm not. And certainly, it's not necessarily honest, but you never know, sometimes. But here we go. So next time that you see a tower or a headline, pause. Ask about sources, doses, evidence, the future, basically deserves this real question and clear thinking. And curiosity is going to beat the fear here, folks. And that's, yeah, I'm curious. I don't have fear, nor conspiracy. I'm just curious. And I'd love to know the truth. I'd love to know what you think every single time. Please like, subscribe, comment, pass me on, let me know. If you'd like to hear more about this, I'd love to research it more and talk to you soon. Love you all.